Antoine Winfield Jr. is playing for you guys. Jesse Bates is a real problem for the Falcons. You've played him before, obviously, Cincinnati in the Cleveland games. What do you see on tape of this guy? Seems like he's been an instant impact player for the Falcons.
Tremendous player. I think just obviously he's got all the physical tools you want, but he's an extremely smart player. You can tell his leadership too. Just being up close and personal with him multiple times a year, he's a great leader. He gets guys on the same page, and so you can see just that kind of translates on film already. And yeah, I think he's a really smart player as well, and just a good person. So he's somebody in the back end that definitely commands their defense.
Baker, you told us on Sunday that you felt like the offense needed to get pissed off, but attitude can only take you so far, right? Action needs to follow that. Just what kind of actions would you like to see from this team in practice on Sundays to get you where you need to be?
Just fundamentally executing. You know, after watching the film, it's never the good games, bad games, never as good as the film, or the film's never as good as you think it is. It's never as bad either. So a few of those things. It's a lot of fundamentals and just some, you know, like I mentioned, get pissed off, but it's taking pride in your work, about executing and doing your job each play. And so today we had a good practice, and there wasn't any rah-rah speech. The guys know what we need to get done. That's why, you know, this is a veteran group that everybody just understands what we need to do to get it fixed. And, you know, like I mentioned after the game, I'll get my stuff fixed, and everybody else is doing the same thing. So I'm not worried about it.
How's the hand?
Golden.
How long does it take for you to get over a loss like Sundays? I mean, is it more difficult given that there were so many opportunities that just came up, you know, short of the throw to Mike, you know, and Trey, obviously, it could have been big plays.
Yeah, you know, there's the classic 24-hour rule when you come in on Monday, watch the film, and you want to flush it. It's a little bit hard when you don't have a practice or anything to go out there and really truly flush it. So, yeah, I mean, it takes about a day, but as soon as you start watching the next week's opponent and film, and obviously, you know, we got a Division I this week, so it's a quicker flush than normal.
Do you guys feel like you're still, I mean, it's still early, you're in a pretty good spot looking at the NFC South? Like, what, you know, what's the attitude, the mood right now?
I mean, we're still hungry. We're still, all of our goals are in front of us. You know, it starts with, you know, big picture-wise, you have to win your division first to get where you want to go. And so we're still in control of our destiny when it comes into that. So got a big one for us. And so we're not hitting the panic button. We know we can play better, and that's the good thing. It's not we're looking around like, oh, no, what's the deal? How do we fix this? No, we know what we need to fix, and we have a good group to be able to do that.
Baker, I know you have had a good connection with Mike. You had a 200-yard game, and then, you know, he got hurt in a game. Last week we saw what happened in getting open, and he's had some drops. Is it just time on task between the two of you? I know you always want to get everybody involved, right? Chris has done some nice things, but where is he at mentally, just in terms of things like that?
I mean, first thing I'll say, I'm not worried about Mike. You know, when it comes to certain drops, I mean, you can go the same way with my stuff. Certain missed throws, not worried about it. We'll get it fixed. The physical stuff, we'll get that corrected. But yeah, it's never about hitting the panic button. It's still instilling confidence. The ball's always going to come his way. I'm still going to find ways to get him the ball, and especially Chris, obviously, a tough guy for us. Took a few shots late in the game, and yeah, just continuing to give them chances to make plays on the ball, and yeah, they're great players for a reason.
You had mentioned this team should be scoring a lot more points. Does there have to be more of a threat of a running game for that offense to really kind of open up and click?
Yeah, I think to have a complementary offense, you got to be able to run the ball too, but also in the red zone, we just need to score touchdowns instead of field goals. That's the biggest thing. So I think when it comes down to us being able to put more points on the board, we haven't been as good as we need to in the red zone. That's just plain and simple, and that's every aspect of our offense when we get down there. We've had some good games, but need to have a game where we're 100% in the red zone with touchdowns.
When you look at this Falcons defensive front, it's really been revamped this year. They had Kancey, they had David Onyemata, Brett Dupree on the outside, but they still got Grady Jarrett inside. When you watch them on film, what are your first impressions of the defensive line?
Yeah, they're hard to run the ball on. I'll say that. I mean, Calais is just an absolute monster of a human being. I've played against him quite a bit, and yeah, Onyemata, Grady Jarrett's been a great player for them for a long time, and they give looks that they give you trouble, and they play extremely hard. Good individual players, but playing really well as a unit right now. And, you know, Ellis that came over with their DC from New Orleans, knows the system, knows how to do some of those packages. So they present some issues of their own with obviously the tremendous players they have.
You talked about how you like working with Dave Canales. He's very upbeat. He's also a first-year offensive coordinator. Can sometimes there be too many ingredients in the soup for you guys? Can you simplify things at times? I mean, how do you think it's going with Dave? Because, you know, you'll have a great game like you did against New Orleans where everybody's involved, and then maybe not so great the next week.
It just comes down to executing. You know, I think the tip pass, the 2 shots to Trey, I don't think anybody's questioning the play calling because those are good designs that Dave had, and they're just miscues for us on offense. So it's just one of those things. We trust in the system. There's answers for the plays that the defensive coverages that we're getting. And so, no, it's not about that. It's about us executing it and being fundamentally sound, like I mentioned earlier. So, yeah, when it comes down to, you know, simplifying it, it's just doing the little things right. You don't need to shorten the list down. You have to have answers for a defense like this that presents a lot of coverages and pressures that you got to have answers, but at the same time, you just got to execute it. So it's about our work ethic, our mentality during the week to get the game plan down, have it be second nature.
Baker, as part of your development as a quarterback now in your 6th season, being able to flush games better than maybe earlier in your career and not press the next game to try to make up for some plays that you didn't hit. Do you feel that is part
yeah.
of your...
A little bit. You never want to have a snowball effect, good or bad. You know, obviously you want to build momentum, but, you know, no play, no game is the same. So it's on to the next one mentality. And so, yeah, that comes with a lot more experience, but at the same time, you got to learn from your mistakes instead of, you know, harping negatively on them.
I don't know if you noticed, there was a lot of Lions fans Sunday this week.
There was?
This week Atlanta probably travels pretty well since they're so close. Does that kind of surprise you, a home stadium that has so many visiting teams, fans coming in?
I'd want to come down to Tampa too. It's a good spot.
Anything else?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. We'll take you guys down to the locker room.